Hi, this is Darren Linton with Neural Advantage. I'd like to share a pattern I'm seeing regarding the resolution of food addictions, alcohol addictions, sweet cravings, that kind of stuff. It seems to me that at least a large chunk of the problem in addiction is a compensation, a subconscious compensation for an emotional dysfunction. People try to comfort themselves from the emotions they're feeling, and that becomes habituated. Once that happens, that person's system starts to get uncomfortable because an emotion is getting riled up, and they don't like it, and so they comfort themselves with alcohol or cheesecake or a bag of Cheetos or whatever. I noticed this with myself at one point a couple years ago. I was in the supermarket, and I was just kind of obsessing over, I just couldn't wait to get to the beer aisle. At a point I caught myself and said, wait a minute, this isn't right. The beer shouldn't be driving me. If a person's going to have a beer, it should be on their own terms, not because they feel that they've got this obsession for it. So I checked myself for emotions that were high signal, resolved those, and next thing I knew, it was easy to just disregard the beers, and in an exercise of showing that I was in control, just decided I'm not going to leave the store with any beer, and it was no big deal. I was able to maintain that control, and the obsession ended. So I started to explore this with other people as they were saying that they were also having addiction problems, sweets cravings, whatever it is. So I started scanning these folks, for emotions that are high signal, resolving them, and they were every one of them says, hey, this is way easier for me to stay on top of those late night snacky addictions or whatever it is. Now I got to qualify this with, I haven't seen one person resolve with just, one go around of this. This is kind of a process because it's normally a cluster of emotions or different aspects of the same emotion that go high signal. So you might have to take a few runs at it over time. And the result for everybody that I've helped with this has been that they stay on top of the obsession, or the obsession ends, and they stay on top of the problem. Keep in mind, when I say emotional dysfunction, I'm not saying that they've got a problem with their character or their personality or anything like that. It's a neurological thing, An emotion is the interpretation of chemicals that are running around through the system, and it's the nervous system that controls the glands that excrete the chemicals that we would interpret as an emotion. So if you've got neurons that control these glands, they're glitchy and they're stuck in a high signal status, or they tend to stay in a high signal status at a very low provocation or very low activation or stimulation. That's not a character problem. It's not a personality problem. It's not a self-will problem. It's a glitch in the nervous system that's controlling those glands. Those glands are kicking out chemicals out of context, and the person's basically along for the ride. And if we reset those neurons back to normal expression, then they're easy to stay on top of, and it ends the obsession, and a person is back in control of that problem. So I keep seeing this over and over again. I tend to not say much about discoveries or fixing these sorts of any sort of problem until I really start to see a pattern. Last time I did anything like this, it was about fixing hearing problems. That where a hearing aid was the only solution, but it really wasn't cutting the mustard. And I jumped in, fixed some problems in the midbrain, in an area that processes hearing, resolved that problem, and the guy didn't need his hearing aids. So same thing with not in a crowded room, not being able to pick out people's voices across the table. They had processing problems. They didn't have They didn't have data collection problems. They didn't have information collection problems. They had processing problems. Hearing aid's not going to help with processing problems. It'll help amplify the information coming in, but if you can't process it well, then you can amplify it all you want. So anyway, I'm kind of getting off the topic. This is about food addictions and other addictions and cravings. I'm having great success with this. It's just a matter of fixing the neurological problem, the glitches in the system that are controlling the glands that excrete the chemicals that we interpret as an emotion. You reset that, and you don't need to, you don't need to eat your snacky cakes and stuff. You can stay on the diet that you want and get the goals that you want, and whatever they might be. So, this is Darren with Neural Advantage. Hope you're having a great day.